Well, it looks like we're about halfway through the course. This is going to be our second kind of major uh, writing assignment. We may not get this finished until after spring break. We'll just see how things go. Um, I want to take my time on this. So this is going to be a critical analysis. And what a critical analysis is you're kind of making the case or an argument for your point of view regarding some topic. Um, it's basically you're saying is here's what I believe about this, or here's why I think this is relevant. And then you give your reasons and you go through and you elaborate on your reasons why you think this is uh, this topic is important and something we should pay attention to. So in this assignment, we're going to use the word artifact. And actually artifact is really is a reference to whatever it is the subject of your analysis. Okay, so you've got an idea that our general topic has something to do with technology or social networking, the kind of technology we all use. And you're kind of looking at it, and and people kind of get the word critical confused a little bit. Just critical doesn't mean negative. Critical means just close examination. Really kind of, and you know, if you want to focus on what the positive aspects are, you can focus on something that you think is, you know, kind of a dangerous or not so healthy effect of this artifact. So, and I'll give an example of this in a minute. Okay, so in this project, you're going to examine an artifact or topic. And of course, this is some element of digital information or communications in order to determine both the effects and broader implications of the artifact and topic. But, you know, by acquiring a thorough understanding of the artifact, then you can begin to develop ideas regarding how the artifact is related to broader social and or cultural conversations. Okay. And I mean, we're living in the day and age where, you know, I mean, I think one of the real interesting topics has to do with cameras. Believe me, when I was growing up, you didn't have a camera with you every second and every minute of every day. You had to have an actual physical camera and lug it around with you, and you know, and plus you had to have film. You know, how many even? I mean, when's the last time any of you have ever used a camera that has film? It's pretty rare these days. It's very spontaneous. It's on the spot, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter what the situation is you have a camera available, not just a camera that shoots stills, but a camera that shoots pretty good video with sound. And has this been a game changer? Well, would YouTube exist? Would we see things that we would have never seen before? Is it helpful? Is it harmful? I mean, can it be helpful, but is there a downside that we need to focus on? You know, you know, as we go through this, I want you to think about topics that interest you or you're curious about or you had some experience with. Okay. So your task for this assignment is you're going to decide on an artifact related. So now that we know what artifact is, related to digital information or communications, for which you will engage in a meaningful analysis and evaluation. So, you know, analysis requires that you kind of take it apart and look at it. And then you're really more qualified to actually have an evaluation. Another word thing is an opinion about it. You know, people have opinions all the time about things they don't know anything about. And that's rather tragic, but that's the truth. So for you to have an evaluation, you're going to have to demonstrate that you have some understanding of what it is you're evaluating. So you're going to develop a thesis statement that makes some point about the significance of the artifact and its relevance to some broader social or cultural idea or issue. So, you know, we could go back to this idea of cameras. Okay. Well, you know, one of the reasons we had a lot of riots last summer was we had video of these black men being killed by police, you know, and I'm not going to get into whether it's justified or not. But it's a fact that happened. You know, that's kind of in, you know, that happened and it's caught on video. I mean, do you think that if that would have been caught on video, that we'd have had any of the stuff that happened over the summer? Uh, you know, and I'm not here to say that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just here to say, you know, maybe I'm saying it's a good thing because it forces government agencies to be more transparent and more careful and, you know, do things differently possibly. You know, it exposes things, you know. Uh, so it's not like these, you know, of course we've got cameras and people do TikToks, and I've been watching some TikToks and not impressed, you know, kind of, I find them really boring. You know, I found them really self-indulgent. I feel like their selfies, I mean, some are creative. I mean, I've seen a few that made me laugh, but that's the exception, not the rule. Mostly it just seems rather narcissistic and self-indulgent and kind of a waste of time. But, you know, that's me. Um, uh, so you're going to develop your essay by looking at key features of the artifact, and then making connections that clearly illustrate how these features prove your thesis statement, okay? Now, I did give you a sample critical analysis essay. I really think you should read that over. I think it's a pretty good example of kind of what I'm looking for. This was a really, really good one, you know, so, you know, don't feel like you have to, you know, mimic what's going on there, but you'll get a sense that every point that she makes, I'm not supposed to say who the author is, every point the author makes is fully developed, and you understand that she understands what she's talking about before she says this is why it's a problem, okay? And that's what I need you to do. I don't want to just a list of here's all the great things and here's all the good things. I'm not looking for a pro or con. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for you to take a stand, take a position on a topic. Now, if you want to focus on what you think to be your kind of harmful effects, should you acknowledge that, you know, there are some benefits and just spend a little bit of time of at least acknowledging that? Well, yeah, you should, because that makes you credible. That makes, you know, I'll pay attention to you then. You know, but I don't want a kind of a point by point, well, you know, here's a good thing, here's a bad thing, here's a good thing. Or you guys already learned how to do that in high school, and I don't want to read it. It's garbage. And it's, you're not really forming an opinion about anything. You're just saying, here's a good thing, here's a bad thing. You know, what are you telling me? You know, what do I get out of it? So I want to know what you think. And if you really want to kind of underscore something, is I want to know why you think it. What are your reasons? And I think you figured that out. So far, that's kind of what we really need to be doing, is offering reasons for what we think and what we believe or what we think is true, okay? So the guidelines, and you know, you guys, I got to tell you, I don't do rubrics. I've found that when you guys have probably had rubrics, some of you in classes, but I really find that what happens is the rubric drives the assignment, and that's all you're worried about. I find I get better essays if I don't have a strict rubric and give you some freedom and some latitude to kind of find your own voice and your own ideas. And plus, I've got to read hundreds of these, and I'm not interested in that. So you're going to include a description or explanation of the artifact. You're going to include a discussion that provides context, which really is answering the question, well, why is it even relevant? Why should I even care? Who cares? So you want to give some background, some context of why it's even relevant, and why it's worth a clear thesis statement, kind of staking out your position. Okay, so I could say, you know, the the abundance of cell phone video cameras has helped to expose some violent activities by police officers, or you know, I mean, and I'm not picking on police. I got no problem with police, but you know, in any profession, there's good ones and bad ones, and you know, the good ones should go away, and the bad ones should go away. All right, so then you're going to spend the rest of your essay developing supporting paragraphs that describe and evaluate the elements related to the thesis. Okay. this thing 2 to 4 pages, not a big deal. And this one, yeah, if you want to use sources to help develop your ideas, you should. And if you already know how to use MLA documentation or APA even, feel free. But really, I'm really looking for more of an informal documentation in this essay. And I've provided you a document in assignments about how to informally document your sources, and you can look that over and just use that as a model. Don't worry about that week 5. I just didn't change it from another course that I taught. I'll give you the due date when I'm ready to give you the due date. So we don't want to worry about a due date yet. Okay. So those are the kind of the guidelines for this paper. You can have some fun with it. You can write about what you want to write about. I've got a list of topics that you're going to look at for the next assignment. So as we go along, I'll try to provide more information, but this is just to give you an idea where we're going. I feel like that as we're moving through an assignment, if you kind of have a context of what the end game is going to be, it helps you kind of visualize your ideas a little better and to see where you're going. And I think it makes it a lot less overwhelming. So take a look at this, and I'll keep you posted.